Okay, welcome back to Swans Cast, everyone. As you can see, I've had a fresh trim this week. Just come back fresh from the haircut. This hairdressers today, unlike Lee. When was the last time you? Go on.
Just for the show, you had your haircut.
Yeah, just for the show. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see that. But unlike Lee, probably needs to go soon. I would say. When was the last time you trimmed yours?
I haven't had my haircut since
before COVID, wasn't it?
Before COVID. So when we went into the first lockdown, I was desperate for a haircut then, and then I've just let it go ever since. And now it's gone too far. Now I can't cut it.
Gone too far. Get on Trimology, mate. That's where you go these days.
Quite long now, isn't it? Getting quite long.
In the comments below, let us know if you're based in Swansea, where do you go to get your mop chop? So yeah, I went to Trimology. It's they're popping up everywhere now. Good one, they are. Good one.
End of your road.
Yeah. Don't disclose which one. There's 5 options, but let's leave that down to imagination. Anyway, it's been I'd still say it's been a positive week to be a Swansea fan. Obviously, we already spoke about it, but we had the derby win, a really good win, really enjoyable win, and then the next 2 matches we were sort of talking about last week was West Brom and Birmingham. So that's what we're going to have a look at today. But before we get there, just want to say a big shout out to everyone that subscribed in the last week. So last I checked, we're on 413, which is amazing really, because I think the last couple of videos before that I was shouting out a call out to sort of get to 400. That was our little target to get to next. And after the Cardiff victory, we smashed it. So thanks to everyone that did jump on board and subscribed. Don't forget though, if you are not subscribed, just click that big red button. Really appreciate it. We are ultimately trying to get to 1,000. Our next goal being 500, and we did say when we get to 500 we'll do some sort of giveaway as well. So, stick around for that. We'll obviously talk about details when we get to that target, and let's see if we can get them maybe by Christmas. That would be good. That would be a nice Christmas present to get halfway to 1,000, and then it'll be coming up to nearly a year of when we've been doing the podcast as well in January. So, be a good start. Good start. Anyway, let's get to the actual nitty-gritty content. So first game, off the back of the derby win against Cardiff, I think we were predicting maybe to get not get a hangover, but to have a hangover in terms of the performance a little bit, because we're playing West Brom, second in the league. I believe they only lost 1 game before this game. Tough opposition really. They came down from the Premier League last year. Many people tipping them to go straight back up. We were saying maybe just put up a good fight, I think, is what we were saying before going into that game. And we've come out of the game 2-1 winners. So you were down at the match, yeah?
Yeah, that's it.
Full disclosure again, I'm unable to attend all of the matches due to my work commitments, but get down there when I can. Well, I did actually watch the second half of this one. So you can introduce us to maybe what you saw at the stadium.
Yeah, I was fully expecting not to get a result, but as you know, I can be quite negative sometimes. I just thought after the Cardiff game, guaranteed normally we lose the next game, don't we? I think last year when we won the derby away, we lost the derby midweek and we were horrendous, weren't we? But yeah, I thought it was going to be a game too far, and then when we went down after 50 seconds, that's just oh, here we go. And it was absolutely hammering down and trudged down in the rain.
Can you sort of explain what happened with that goal?
Not really. It was just a bit of a mess. It just seemed, we were a bit all over the place just in the first it was 50 seconds. It just seemed to be everybody was all over the place. A couple of deflections. I think Cabango sort of came out late, so he kept the player on side, and it was just, I think it was just one of them. The ball went into the wrong area. A couple of wrong deflections, and it had gone into their path, and then it was 1-0.
Carlon Grant took the goal.
Yeah, and then to be honest, it looked like that was going to be the theme of the game, because the next 10-15 minutes they had a couple of other chances where they kind of opened us up, and you thought, oh my god, they're going to run away with this. But then I thought they were brilliant. Then the Swans after that, I thought they were absolutely brilliant. I said on the podcast before, I just thought if they can just compete with West Brom, even if we had a 1-0 loss, if they can just compete with them, I'd be happy with that. But to actually dominate the game, I thought, especially second half, and they sort of held their own towards the end of the first half and got in. And then second half, I thought we were the best side on the pitch. It's probably a better performance in the Cardiff game, I think, second half.
I think the derby itself is always quite an individual event. Like everyone says, form goes out the window, so it's hard to judge like either way on that. And I think I said it in the podcast last time. This is the game where you show. It's more of a real test of where we are. You show the progress. Can you like back up that win against Cardiff with a win against West Brom? Because that's a statement, and that's what we managed to do in the end. So yeah, it was a bad start, as you touched on. Obviously, conceding within the first minute or two. It's never a good sign, especially when you're coming off such a high. It's like, oh God, are we coming back down to earth here? And you just look at Twitter, because I was in work at the time, and you just see everyone like, oh yeah, Swans sent back down to earth, like straight away with conceding so early. And it's like, right, okay, there's a long way to go yet. Obviously, I said I watched the second half, and for me, like, the more the half went on, the more we grew into the game, and
yeah, I
just think we were good credit for a victory in the end. So against West Brom, we had 67% possession to 33. Now, even though they're second in the league, it's not really surprising we managed to control the ball against them, because they play, if you remember how Barnsley played last year, it's quite similar.
Yeah.
Obviously, the manager's moved from Barnsley now, Ishmael, to West Brom. And one thing that is key to point out is they didn't have Alex Mowat playing, who is kind of the central to that team. I don't know if it would have made a difference, but
I thought that, and oh God, I forget the player's name. There was another one that was up as well. It's really good for them. Can't remember his name, but I thought like they've got the size of their squad and the players they've got and the resources they've got. They've got one player out injured, then you'd still on paper you still fancy them to beat us. I just thought, like second half, like you said, we just kept growing into it. And I just feel it. I just thought we can win this game. I thought we could definitely get a point here. And then when we scored the first goal, I thought, oh yeah, we can definitely win this game. We deserve to win it. And Cham came on, didn't he, at half time? I think Downs went off with a knock. And then Corey Smith went back into like the role that Downs was doing. And I thought Corey Smith was brilliant. And then bringing in Cham on. I've never seen us look so effective all season. Like when in that second half, even though we had 60% possession, and normally we don't really threaten, we were cutting them open. There was a couple of close offside calls, wasn't there?
Yeah.
We were just cutting them open all the time.
So I was going to talk about the offside. So in terms of being effective attacking, we had 9 shots, 3 on target. They had 10, 6 on target. So quite even in terms of the official chances created. However, it doesn't factor in for the amount of times that we nearly broke the offside trap. There was a lot of calls for people saying the ref wasn't doing a good job at managing the offside, or the linesman I should say, but I think on replays and stuff you could see they were all tight, but perhaps marginally got them right. And it's not Joel Piroe getting it wrong as such, but their defence, that's the way they're playing a high line, they're trying to run up and catch him offside. So like we had others in the past, like Baftimbi Gomes would love to be offside, and there was a bit of a meme in the end. But I think here it's a bit different. It's like he's got to keep trying that run. He's got to keep doing it. It doesn't matter how many times he gets caught offside, because the one time he's not going to get caught offside. And guess what? The one time he got it right and he didn't get caught offside, he runs through. And I think it took a while for him to bring it down, whilst he's also trying to hold off one of the centre-backs. I can't recall which one it was. It might have been Bartley. I'm not sure though if it was Bartley or not for his goal. But it does a good finish in the end as well. It puts us 1-0 up. But that's why he needed to keep trying it. I think they utilised him more in the second half. Ball over the top, or just a ball through.
He'd obviously identified something, because you never really see Piroe playing on the edge trying to get him behind. He kind of sort of drops deep quite a bit, doesn't he? But it's perfect. I just to say about Piroe though, how nice is it having a striker is just going to finish his chances? When he went through 1-on-1, I had no doubt that he was going to put that in. He was 1-on-1 with the keeper.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have a lot of time to think about it, don't you? I just thought he's going to score.
Yeah.
We've had so many chances like that in the last few years where you're not really confident that we're going to score. But to have a striker now that whatever chance you give him, he's putting away. I love that.
Yeah. So we had 2 big chances. Obviously, we scored 2 goals. And it was in total 6 offsides. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were all from trying to do that ball or something similar. Maybe it was 1 or 2 different people. Bidwell might have been one. But the assist come from, guess who? Jamie Paterson. So Paterson to Piroe again. Nice partnership duel in there. Another goal contribution each for both of them. And, I mean, yeah, Paterson's coming key as well. I saw someone tweeting out on, I think it might have been, I can't remember who it was now. It was one of the football podcast accounts that was tweeting saying, like, name a better free sign-in in the Championship than, is it Dowell for Blackburn or something similar? I was just thinking, well, I think Paterson's got to be up there as one of the best for this season with his goal contribution so far. If he keeps that up with the assists and goals that he's getting, you can't ignore that.
Yeah. I was totally wrong about him. I think I said in the last one. I just thought he'd naturally, because Cham looks good. I just thought when Cham was fully fit, the Paterson was going to drop out. But you can't drop him. You can't drop him at all.
Can't drop him at the moment, definitely. Same with these over-the-top balls as well. Piroe has a second one later on that I think he could have got another chance out of, but I think he took the touch. He brought it down a bit worse, put himself out wide, and then by the time he got to the goal, he couldn't have a shot. But it was dangerous. It nearly worked a couple of times, and obviously we exploited a weakness of West Brom. And to be fair, I was going to say, we beat Barnsley twice last year, but then it was under Steve Cooper and a different style of play. Completely, obviously, different system, different manager, so obviously it can't be linked. But the team, I guess, itself, obviously has done quite well against his system. But it doesn't seem to matter how we're playing, we found a way each time. Because obviously his system's been successful. Barnsley got to the playoffs, and West Brom have started off really well this year.
Yeah, but I think West Brom had only lost one game all season before that.
Yeah,
and we deserved to beat them as well, the way that we were playing.
And it shows that what we're doing can work, and we can definitely win games against hard opposition doing what we're doing. And as we'll move on to later, it also shows what we've been saying all year is going to be an up-down season, where you think it's just about to click and we're going to go on a run, and maybe it doesn't quite happen. But I think we've said from the start to expect that this year. And where we are looking at the moment in 16th place, I think our form has slightly picked up points per game than, say, the first 8 matches. Perhaps we'll be on course for somewhere between 10th and 15th finish is what I'm saying right now. I think we'll be in that mix there. We're only, what we're there basically now is 16th. Technically joint on points with Forest to a 15th. So, we're looking good, basically. I think there's plenty of time for us to tweak it, improve it, iron out the errors, but also get personnel in to help with that. So like maybe the centre-backs, as we've said. There's a lot of competition there, but probably need a little bit more comfort on the ball. We're playing wing-backs there, and I'm sure there'll be you can get in 1 or 2 people that maybe we'll have to sell some, but would probably help. Grimes is still widely expected to go, so who comes in for him and what happens in the midfield as a result of that? And I'm sure one more attacking player at least. And then maybe right wide as well, because obviously if Led doesn't play, I still can't. Latabodia still for me is not the answer. But we'll talk more about the negatives when we get to the Birmingham game. When we move on to the second goal in the West Brom game, which came from Paterson, who we've already been singing the praises for. I guess we've got his assist. Piroe to Paterson this time, repaying the favour. But what a fantastic finish this was by Paterson again.
Oh yeah, it's so well taken, wasn't it? And just the touch, and then nutmeg on Bartley as well, of all people, and then just to poke it in. It was great finish, so clinical.
Danced through the defence basically and toe poked it, didn't he?
Yeah, Piroe and Paterson and JP squared.
Yeah, that's what you tweeted out the other day, isn't it?
Yeah. JP squared, that's what I have to call him.
JP squared. Who forget about MSN from back in the day.
Yeah, JP squared, no stopping it.
Did Bartley get a good reception?
I don't think he had any reception.
Did they not care at this point? Just done.
Yeah, I just don't think it was any. Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah, I not really got a big. I don't think there's this sort of a big sort of relationship there, is there? Played a couple of games in the Premiership. That was about it, wasn't it? I don't think he was that bad for us. Actually, he was all right now and then.
He was in a period where there was a couple of different managers over a couple of months, and no one knew the best defence was. Like Guidelin was using Amat, and I don't know who. Maybe Bartley was with him, or Fernandez and Amat, maybe, or Mawson. I really can't remember. And then Bob Bradley might have used Bartley a bit more. Clement as well. You might have used him.
He had a good spell, I think. Bartley. He had a good like run of games. I remember he started against Arsenal when we beat them. Yeah, so he did have a good couple of games for us, but he didn't play a lot, did he?
He just couldn't nail down a team, a position, could he?
I think the Championship is his level as well, though.
Yeah, probably. Unless he gets in the right system, perhaps under the right manager in the Prem, that's a Burnley or something. But
yeah.
But yeah, that's Kyle Bartley. I mean, at West Brom, been there basically since he left us, hasn't he? I think that's where he went.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, looking at the team for this one then, obviously Corey Smith did keep his place, but he actually replaced Downs in the centre of the park, and Sham comes in for the attacking role. Fulton did return to the bench, did manage to get on the pitch. First we saw of Walsh for a while though, Walsh coming on ahead of Fulton. Smith obviously starting there instead of either, when he's been used in a more further forward role. Clear to see the pecking order is Grimes, Downs, then Smith in the centre midfield.
Yeah, definitely.
And then it seems Walsh and then Fulton. So still feeling every week goes by, week by week, and Fulton might be on his last legs here. He can't be happy.
I think he's gone now. He's got to be gone. He hasn't played. When was the last time he played? He played against Brighton, didn't he, in the Cup?
I think his last game was off the bench against our Huddersfield when we won. Was it Huddersfield?
Okay. Might have been.
That was his last league appearance, anyway.
I think he's done now. I think we probably may see him off the bench now and again when we get into the Christmas.
One or two injuries.
Run up with the tight fixtures.
That's it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he's way down in the pecking order now with Russell Martin, which is a bit of a shame that it didn't work out, because I quite like him, but it doesn't work with some managers. Doesn't work. Does it?
Yeah, I just realised it wasn't even the West Brom game he got on the bench for. It was the Birmingham game, and Walsh didn't come off the bench.
Yeah, Birmingham.
Came off the bench in Birmingham game. So we'll move on to that anyway. We'll talk about that. Birmingham then, obviously, I think I don't really know. They've got Lee Bowyer there now. Obviously, he came in last season. I think they beat us when he came in, and he said that Steve Cooper was predictable in the way that we were playing. Yeah. And that's when the next week we changed formation after he made those comments in the press. Quite interesting. So yeah, I guess he's always, his teams are quite tricky to play against, quite defensive, and they were, I believe, for the first half of this game. It seemed, I didn't watch this one either. I was in work, so I listened to a lot of it on the radio. But it seemed the first half. I'm not saying we had any clear-cut chances or dominated or anything like that, but we had all the ball. From looking at the Twitter feed, people were saying, "Oh, goal's going to come any time now," but it didn't come. Not for us, anyway. Half-time was 0-0. And you said about a bad start in the West Brom game, where we conceded in the second minute. Well, after half-time here, we conceded in the second minute after half-time, where Troy Deeney scores, assisted by Tanith Chong. I said he was going to have a good season at Birmingham. But yeah, it had to be that man, Deeney. By all accounts, good finish.
Yeah, it was a good finish, not fair.
He's a top striker. If you're going to give him the service, he's the sort of player that would put it in the back of the net. We need to stop the cross, I think, in that situation.
Yeah, it's like Chong is on his own, isn't he? We kind of get caught out a bit there.
Yeah.
No, it was a good finish from Deeney, in all fairness.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good ball. Obviously, I guess the ball whips behind the defence, behind Norton. And, well, yeah, he's just got to pick a spot at that point. I don't really know what you can say you could do better. I think, yeah, you are right. It's just making sure that ball doesn't get to Chong with the opportunity to cross it. But that could be part of the problem when we've got Bennett playing on the right side of the three centre-backs. Because as soon as any player goes past him, if led as the right wing-back is further up the pitch, there's no one catching up to the forward player in that situation. Bennett is not going to catch up to 90% of forwards in this league, I would say.
No, I agree.
He's good at stopping them get past him, and he's got a good football brain on him, where often as well he gets booked quite a lot because he's got to just bring them down. cynically.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a time and a place to do that where you can get away with it, even if it's a yellow card and you're getting away with it that way. But yeah, it's definitely a pro, and that's what I say when it comes to the centre backs and Russell Martin's system. I think we could look at that area as getting other options in, perhaps.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's done all right, Ben, isn't he? Like against West Brom and Cardiff, especially. He's done all right, done well. I think he's good on the ball as well.
Yeah, he's definitely not been bad.
I just think, again, like, I just don't think you can do 3 games in a week.
No.
And also, no, I'll talk about this at the end of the game. We'll finish the game first, then we'll say that after.
No, I don't think he's bad. He's been quite good. I'm just obviously highlighting an area of weakness, and I think teams would look at that as an opportunity. Look at Bennett, look at his sort of pace, and that's where you can attack us probably, because you know how much we're pushing up. If you can isolate him and get a ball past him.
You'd be saying to your forward players, pull on that side, wouldn't you? Just sort of pull away down that flank in between Led and
exactly.
Bennett.
Yeah. And, okay, so obviously we go 1-0 down. And then there's the first goal for the club from Michael Obafemi. Did you see the goal?
Yeah, it's good news. Great ball from Manning.
Yeah.
Unbelievable ball from Manning, in all fairness. And great first touch for him as well, and a good finish as well.
Yeah.
He had a similar chance not long before that. It was quite similar. He sort of peeled into that channel and got the shot away. So it was sort of his like second chance, which he put away quite well. It's good news to have another player coming on and scoring goals.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's good to have another striker that can finish. It was a good finish, good run as well, like you said, and a good different option to Piroe, because Piroe's not exactly the slowest, but I think Obafemi's definitely quicker. And we have I think it's noticeable, we have started using over-the-top balls as another sort of string to our bow a little bit more for the forwards. Obviously, against West Brom, we said for Piroe's goal, that was kind of a case-by-case thing because of their high line. But if the opportunity's there and the player's making the run and you can find him, you know, one of the other advantages of having like Manning in the centre-back role, who's good and comfortable on the ball, which is why he's there, is that he can pick one of those passes out. Norton can also pick those passes out. We know the centre midfields can. Downs and Grimes obviously with Smith here, not Downs. So, it gives us more options, and obviously as a result we've scored a couple more goals with another option. It also then means teams defending against us they're doing this sort of thing now. So in terms of us being a little bit easier to defend against earlier in the year when we were just trying to pass it round and create the gaps, now we're trying new things. It asks more questions, and then maybe more opportunities come as a result, even going back to the old way of just passing. It's just, asking more questions is always a good thing for attacking, because the defenders don't know where to defend.
Yeah, no, you're right. They've got 2 very different strikers there, Piroe and Obafemi, which is good for us.
Yeah.
And both, it seems like, can finish really well. So, really quite excited about that. I'm glad he got a goal, because it was weird. I don't know what was going on before. I know Martin sort of touched on it, and he said, he's not quite ready and.
Well, he got injured, didn't he? So I guess maybe they
he was injured
eased him back.
Yeah, but it'd be good. I'd be interested to see when we have a fully fit squad
if they can play together,
what they can actually do. Because I just think we've got Piroe, Obafemi, and Cham and Paterson. I mean, how would you?
Well, it's 4 players, 3 positions. You've got Cullen there as well, but you'd imagine he's not really ahead of any of those. You obviously got to just keep them on their toes, and whoever's not performing don't start, or you look at the team you're playing and what's the best options. And I think the other one's quite likely always going to come off the bench if they're fit. So, but then saying that, you've also got the option of putting Cham into centre midfield, so you could get them all on the pitch, like at home against maybe someone that we're expected to beat at home. It's a statement, isn't it?
I mean, I am. This is why I'm still sort of quite excited, because we've seen glimpses of how good we can be, but like you can see that it is still going to get better. When, I mean, you could even, you may even experiment and drop Piroe behind Obafemi, because Piroe is going to sort of come in deep and balls going through.
Yeah, well,
behind
Piroe's
him.
Also played number 10 in the past, doesn't he? Like Steve Cooper used him there friendly.
I think that could be a dangerous combination if Obafemi's up front and Piroe and Paterson behind.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's good. I'd be excited to see that as well. Looking at the other goal then that we conceded, so we obviously lost this game 2-1. So the winning goal for Birmingham then. I believe after we equalised, they came more into the game on top of us. As much as maybe we were controlling the first half, they definitely got on top of us in the second half. Russell Martin spoke afterwards about it being quite a demanding week. They put a lot of effort into the Cardiff and the West Brom games, and we come up a little bit short with our fitness in this one. And to be honest, fair enough. I think that's completely makes sense and honest, and address the fact that we need to get better in that regard. And I think we can't really complain, because we thought it would be the other way around, where we maybe go to Birmingham and win, and not so much against West Brom. It's a good sign to see that we can beat the teams like West Brom, even if we've gone away now to Birmingham and lost. If you win your own games and then get something out of your away games where you can, that's always a good sort of foundation.
Yeah, Martin was spot on when he said it was a game too far for too many of the players. There's obviously some players there that are still not fit.
Yeah.
When we said about Bennett, maybe can't play 3 games in a week, and Norton maybe, even though they didn't exactly play bad, I don't think they weren't awful, but it's hard to play 3 games. And I will say as well, we played Sunday as well, so we played Sunday and then Saturday, so we had less than a week with the 3 games in there.
Yeah. 6 days, isn't it? So 3 games is 6 days.
Yeah, it's so, that must be so hard.
Yeah.
It was a poor result, and I was gutted, because I think we probably should beat Birmingham, I think, when we play at our best. But I think if I put it into context, that week where all the Championship played 3 games, how many teams do you think won all 3 games in a week?
Probably just Bournemouth, is it?
There was 3 teams that won all 3.
Bournemouth, Fulham.
Yeah, top 2. Bournemouth and Fulham.
I'm going to say...
There is a bit of a red hair in this one.
I can't think. Who's QPR or someone?
No, it was Middlesbrough.
Oh, Middlesbrough.
But then again, Middlesbrough
they had Cardiff
played,
though, didn't they? So that's a free.
And Middlesbrough played Cardiff, Barnsley home, and Peterborough home.
That's a decent.
So they had quite a nice week of fixtures there.
That's 3 teams fighting relegation at the early stage of the season.
But it was basically only. Fair play to Middlesbrough winning all 3 games in the week, because you still got to do it because it's a hard league. But if you just look, it was just the top 2 teams that won all 3 games.
Yeah.
In the week, so it just shows that it's just such a hard league, and they've got all the options to rotate all the time, haven't they?
Bournemouth have looked like they're on another level as well, and we've played Fulham away. Yeah. We know what they're all about. We didn't even have a bad game up there and lost 3-1.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's just the nature of the Championship, isn't it?
Sorry, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat, but yeah, so yeah, you're right. You can't really. I think this would have been disappointing had we lost against West Brom as well. But I think you put that into context, and they probably did give a lot into that game to get that result. They did play really well, and even the first half of this game, you maybe wouldn't have said we would lose it 2-1. So fitness is the issue, as Martin is saying. Going further into the game, we struggled more, which is what the signs were earlier this season. It does make sense. It does add up. So, anyway, one thing that highlights to me as well, if he's acknowledging some of the players, he was a step too far, 3 games in 1 week. He didn't make the changes to account for that. So it comes back to my point about he still needs people to fit into his system. He's clearly found people he trusts and are working with the system well. And as much as he probably would, use the other players when he needs to, he obviously still would prefer to use these players who he trusts at a 75% fitness level than he would at other players. And unfortunately, that includes the likes of Fulton and I guess some of the other defenders that aren't really, even Rhys Williams at this point.
Rhys Williams.
And, who else was on the bench for this
Bango didn't come on again.
Isn't getting on the pitch that much. I know he did come on off the bench. Cullen, I don't think I would fit Cullen into the category, because I think he knows Cullen is his reserve forward. I feel like that is Cullen's role. Yeah.
I think if you think it's interesting, you're all right. It's quite interesting to look at it, because obviously he rested Bidwell, or Bidwell wasn't even on the bench, so I don't know if he had a knock. But I mean, he played Latibodia wide, I think, didn't he?
I think Manning missed out against West Brom and Bidwell missed out against Birmingham. So he's obviously
Yeah.
used... I believe that's the case, isn't it? Because he used someone else in centre-back against West Brom. Cabango,
I was right. It was.
So
I think,
he's obviously rested each one of those. He's just done it one by one there. I
Yeah, I
guess
know,
they'll
but,
both
like, I
return
mean-
for the next game.
I mean, on paper, it would make sense that you put Man in wide and bring another centre half in, but
Yeah.
instead he's put Man in centre half, put Latibeaudiere wide rather than playing Rhys Williams or
Yeah.
or
So,
even
but Lati was
playing
left back, wasn't he?
Latibeaudiere at the back. Yeah, so you've got a left back playing the back
Left
three and
centre-back.
centre back playing. Yeah,
I think it's an easy switch to be in their natural positions, but with the style that he's playing, he wants Man in that centre-back role.
I mean, we all thought he was strange at the beginning of the season, but he's playing there regularly now, man, isn't he? And playing well.
I think that's his position now, isn't it, under Martin?
Yeah.
I was going to say as well, obviously we're talking about the squad depth, or not squad depth, but the lack of maybe rotation. Unfortunately, SofaScore doesn't give me the team for the under-23s. But I don't know if you saw their team against their last game. I'll see if I can find it quickly on Twitter. They basically played like 8 first-team players in the under-23 game.
Okay.
Yeah. So I shall try my best to pull that up. While I'm pulling this up, let's actually talk about what I said we were going to talk about, the goal. We mentioned Bennett earlier, having, not as much as he had a good time recently in his system, and out of the defenders available, he's clearly the one that he wants to use. He didn't really... Well, it was his fault really for the second goal Birmingham scored. So he's sort of done a long pass from the centre back area, kind of like a clearance, but I guess he was trying to find someone, but he gets intercepted by Birmingham on the halfway line, who put it straight back to the forwards, and as a result of that, our defence is not in the right positions. Same theme as what I always say: when we lose the ball in our half, we're not ready for the attack that comes after it, and they play the ball through to, let me just check to get his name right, Riley McCree.
Yeah. I said McGree, yeah. Or
Yeah,
McGree.
and good finish by him. I think Ben Amer actually makes the... It might not be him with the
Yeah, I know.
shot, was it actually? Good save
Yeah, I
by
think
him.
it was. He was really lucky because he makes the save and it just sort of trickles through and he's got to tap in then. But I think he does get quite fortunate with the finish.
Yeah, it is. Tanith Chong's there,
and-
like, I'm going to take the scraps, but he's like, nah, no, none of that.
Russell Martin said as well in his interview, and I haven't seen it, he said he was convinced that it was offside in the build-up.
I'm going to try and pause. I've got it right in front of me now.
He says Tanith Chong is offside.
Yeah, Tanith Chong is offside, but the ball doesn't go to him.
Is it before that? I don't know. He said in the build-up.
I would say, I'm looking, so as the ball is played to this McCree, which, I don't know, I think it's Deeney who dinks it over to him on the right-hand side, so he's kind of in between Manning and... not sure who it is actually. Maybe Grimes. He makes the run, but Tanith Chong is in the centre of the pitch, offside, in between like Grimes and Bennett, but there's a bigger gap there. The ball isn't going in that direction.
No, I don't know then.
So he comes back offside, and then he runs forward in the play. But obviously at that point, the Birmingham player's got the ball running through and goal, so he would be onside at that point. So for me, I don't think he's interfering in the play for Martin to say like, yeah, he's offside. I guess you could argue he's distracting any of the other defenders, but they're not really going to him to mark him. And like Bennett, for example, is very high as Tanith Chong's coming back. He's not looking at Chong. He's kind of looking at Norton, who goes in for a sliding tackle on Deeney as Deeney's dinking it. It's as if Bennett's anticipating us winning the ball back to ready to like push up. However, obviously we don't, and then all of a sudden he's like, shit, I got to react now. But he's too far back, because if the Birmingham player wanted to cut it back to Chong's got to tap in, because Bennett didn't react quicker. And it was obviously him who also gave the ball away in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it was before that, maybe a bit before in the build-up. I'm not sure how far back he's going, or if it is that. But yeah, I think we're quite unlucky just with the what's it called? I've lost my train of thought now.
Yeah.
Just with the finish, because it bounces off Hamer, and it
just
he manages to get a tap in.
Yeah.
I think like on another day it could go wide or it falls to one of the defenders. I think we were probably good value for a draw. We didn't do enough to win the game, but I think we were good value for a draw there. So to have potentially 7 points in the week, win your 2 home games and get a point on the road, I think we did enough to get that. It just didn't go away on Saturday, so we'll take it.
Yeah. I've just gone a little bit further back and I see what you might be talking about. So the original ball, which is lumped forward before Bennett clears it.
Might be that then.
Chong is on the line in between Bennett and Norton. You can't quite see if he's offside. The camera doesn't come quick enough. Bennett's calling for it. It doesn't get given, obviously. But, alright, fair enough. We might have a point there. But I would, in response to that, say we got the possession back and didn't deal with it properly after that moment. So that's where the problem is. No, I just, if that's what Russell Martin's saying, I don't want to criticise Martin or whatever, but for me, you look at that and it's like, okay, yeah, it should have been offside, potentially. But Bennett did have an opportunity then to nullify that attack, and he's given the ball away, and that's resulted in the goal. So, we could have changed that on our own terms.
I know, but just it was annoying because I think Birmingham had not won a game in 7, I think it was, and then it's so frustrating, especially after the way they played. It was just such a in result because I think 9 points there would have been massive in a week, but I think
it would have been massive.
Getting greedy at that point, but
yeah,
as I said, only
it would have put us up to 12
teams.
if we had won that.
Yeah, I know, but I know only 3 teams in the whole league won 3 games in the week, so
yeah, so we'll take
2 of them are the top 2.
Positive week on the whole. Against Birmingham, we had 72% possession, so we know what we're going to have now. It's expected. We're going to be up there against all of the teams. I'd be surprised if we don't finish top of the league on possession stats by the end of the year. Not that wins you anything. 2 big chances. Birmingham had 3. We had 7 shots. They had 15. We only had 1 on target, whereas they had 6. Okay, so the last thing on this game, I think, before we move on, I just want to sort of give a bit of a shout out to Ben Hamer in goals. So Russell Martin's also sort of been talking positively about his influence and his calmness more than anything. I don't want to criticise Bender because he's still young, but I think since Hamer's come in, Martin was pointing this out, the team just feels a lot more comfortable at the back with the ball, and as a result of that, obviously it can bring more positives up the pitch then. But he's also made some really big saves. I think he made one against Cardiff right at the start. We mentioned the Giles chance, and there was a couple, I think, against West Brom, and a couple in this game as well. He made one massive save by all accounts from Birmingham that kept us in the game at that point. I think they would have gone 2-0 up. So, yeah, what do you think about Ben Hamer's performance this season?
You can definitely tell the difference since he's come in. And I don't want to criticise Bender as well because I don't want to do that too much. But you can just see how different it is now. At the beginning of the season when he was just doing some wild things, we didn't know if that was the way Martin wanted to play. With him coming out ridiculous lengths and then trying to take on strikers and stuff all the time. Yeah. But it's clearly not the way he wanted him to play. And since Hamer's come in, he's been excellent.
Yeah,
I think you're right. I think the defenders in front of him are definitely more comfortable now on the ball since he's gone in.
Yeah.
Well, I say that we sort of went back to our old ways early on in the game, didn't we? Did you see the Grimes one where he just passes it to one of the Birmingham players going through? I think they were sort of trying to play out from the back. Grimes hits one off the side of his foot, I think, and it just goes straight to a Birmingham player one-on-one.
Yeah, that could have been a bad start there as well.
Yeah, it's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, look, it's part of what happens with this type of football. It used to happen under the other guys, the other managers that did it too sometimes, and it's about how you react to it really and learn from your mistakes. So you just got to hold your hands up and do better next time.
Yeah.
I obviously mentioned the under-23 squad that had a bunch of first-teamers in. So it was against Exeter, I believe. I think. I could be wrong in the team. It doesn't say in the report for some reason. Oh, sorry, Watford in the Professional Development League. So he was there under 23s as well, I think. And we had Bender, Rhys Williams, Brandon Cooper, Jay Felton, Liam Walsh, and Morgan Whittaker all started.
My God.
So they definitely get some minutes under their belt.
Rhys Williams is a strange one. I don't know what's going on there. I thought that he was going to come,
didn't he?
And he came off against Cardiff as well, didn't he? Or was it West Brom?
West Brom he came
on. I think I'm mixing up the two, but yeah, I don't know. It's just I thought when we made the signing, I thought he was going to be straight in there and be one of the three all season, but I don't know. Something's not quite worked out there yet.
I mean, yeah, he didn't get in right at the start, so
yeah, it's true.
Have to see what happens.
We'll have to use like Guehi for every like lone player that doesn't work out straight away now. And he was rubbish at the start, and now he's class.
Yeah. Okay, moving on then. So, word on Wine Street. Looking at the news this week, there isn't too much to talk about, but there's been more sort of talk and rumours and news, if you like, or articles about Jay Felton and going on Nottingham Forest links. Obviously, saying that Steve Cooper's keen on a reunion with midfield favourite, is what they're saying, and the fact that he's not really playing. He's played just 223 minutes this season in the Championship. It's feeding into the agenda that he might go, isn't it, basically? He's played 14 minutes since he captained the team against Brighton. Felton has. So,
I mean, I think it's expected, and it's not going to be the biggest shock in football if he ends up at Forest in January. I think we're expecting that now. But if that frees up some more funds for us to bring in another player, like nothing against Fulton, I think he's been great for us. I would like to keep him. I'd like to see him get some more game time. But if he's not playing and he doesn't fit in the Russell Martin system, then it makes sense that he goes and we bring someone else in that does fit the system.
Yeah, exactly. I also saw rumours that Steve Cooper is keen on bringing or working again with Rhian Brewster.
No, that one would hurt.
I feel like if Brewster goes there, then they could definitely be a contender for playoffs.
That one would really hurt if Brewster goes there.
What happened? Probably got. Well,
I mean, if you can get a tune out of him, which Sheffield United haven't been able to do, which Cooper was able to do when he was here, I think they'll definitely be floating around the top six. I think
probably going to score against us if that happens.
Guaranteed. At least we play them at home for January, so we'll be playing again. Yeah. We'll only be playing against Fulton and Brewster probably once.
Yeah.
Season.
So also, no, actually that's it. I've got nothing else to talk about. You got any news that you've seen?
No, I was just having look at the Championship in general now. I think we're sort of over a quarter of the way through now. I just think I was looking at Bournemouth stats, and I know we picked them to do well. I think we had them to win the league, didn't we? It's ridiculous.
You convinced me to put them top. I think I had them a little bit lower down, but you convinced me to put them top.
Yeah. I thought they would. I thought they would win the league, but I didn't think they would be this dominant so early on with a new manager. I haven't seen many of the games actually, so I can't comment on how they play. But they've drawn 4 games and won 10 out of 14, and they've only conceded 8 goals in 14 games. It's ridiculous. That's for the Championship. They're just flying at the moment. But just want to look at the playoffs. So obviously you've got like Bournemouth, Fulham, and West Brom, top 3 expected. And then I think we had Middlesbrough, didn't we, to sort of be in the playoff area.
Yeah, and QPR, which are just below.
Yeah, and they are, so they're just below. And then
Stoke,
Luton
actually.
And Coventry. Yeah, Luton and Coventry, 4th and 5th. I think I said I fancied Luton to do well. I don't know how long they'll stay there, but that's quite funny that it's like Coventry and Luton, 4th and 5th.
Yeah, Luton's form's pretty good. They haven't lost in the last 5, 3 wins, 2 draws. Coventry look like it's fallen off a bit more. They had a really good start, didn't they? But they're still there, up there. They can have a little bit of a bad spell and stay there, then bodes well for their season. But these teams we're talking about, well, not Coventry, but Luton, QPR. Did we have Middlesbrough up there? I can't remember. Maybe we had them more mid-table. But they're only 4 points ahead of us.
Yeah, that's tight in there. There's about, how many is that? 3, 4, 5, 6, like 8 teams on 21 points.
Yeah.
It's tight at the moment.
Blackpool surprising me there in 11th.
Yeah, it's chaos. But if we can keep in touch with that top pack, you don't want the gap to open up there and be in that bottom half. Cardiff, obviously. Mick McCarthy's now gone.
I thought Sheffield were going to start working their way up, but they've started again in recent 2 wins in the last 5, which I know is the same as us.
Yeah.
We got a draw in there too, but I just thought they had 2 wins back to back after all the bad start of the season, and I thought that was it. Then I thought they were coming to move up the league, but it's been a bit up and down.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I expected better from them. I thought they were going to be one of the ones that would push up a bit more, but I think we had them in second, didn't we?
Yeah,
we had Middlesbrough, Bournemouth top, and Sheffield United second.
It will be interesting. I'll tell you part of the reason I guess Bournemouth are doing so well, and it's a signing that's kind of snuck under the radar for me. Gary Cahill.
Yeah.
On a free transfer there. Like
I said, they've only conceded 8 goals all season. 14 games.
Yeah, surely he's got to be a big part of that. Just that experience.
Goals,
yeah, they can score goals, but like you said, it's the not conceding that's probably getting them a couple of the wins.
I'm just looking at their starting lineup for the weekend. You got Kelly at the back as well, as good experience with Cahill. So you got 2 solid centre halves there. Really 2 solid experienced centre halves. You got just picking out the bigger names. You got Lerma in there, Dillon is in there, Solanke. The bench is, Mepham as well, good, decent centre half for the Championship. Condes, who was promoted with Brentford, as we know, Stanislas and Jamal Lowe on the bench. It's a ridiculous squad.
Yeah, they've got. I mean, I think they're going to go up this year.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see now. We got them in 2 weeks, haven't we?
Oh yeah, I mean.
Wait.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That will be interesting to see. But we'll revisit that maybe in a couple of weeks' time, see what's going on. So, looking ahead then, so the build-up, so the next game, last section obviously, where we look ahead to what's going on. Only got the one game to look forward to this week. There's no midweek fixture, but it's probably a good thing for us after last week. We were talking about the tiredness for the Birmingham game, maybe being part of the reason why we fell off and ended up losing that game. So this week, Peterborough at home. So Peterborough are a bit lower down than us. They are 20th. They are 3 points behind, but they did have some bad form, but they picked up 6 points in the last 2 games, which has lifted them out of the relegation zone. So those 2 wins have come against Hull City, which is more of a probably direct match in it. That's a relegation rival that they're playing against.
Yeah.
They came up with them last season. And then you got QPR, they've won 2-1 against on the weekend just gone. Tricky game potentially, but I feel like we need to win this one to sort of stamp the fact that the system is turning round and we're looking again results. If we can just consistently get them against the teams that are down there. I understand it might be like a flip-flop season, as I said earlier, but against Peterborough, that's the teams you want to be alright. Yeah, we're going to beat them, but then I don't want to write them off because it's not going to be that easy. So, anyone could be anyone in the league.
Like you said, only 3 points off us, but it is one of them banana skin games. It's the one we should win this year. Promoted side. I will be gutted if we don't get 3 points at home against Peterborough. No disrespect to them, but I think it's just a game we got to be winning. But like I said, this week we're lucky because there's no midweek game. Starting with Peterborough, it's another 3-game week, and we've got hard fixtures after Peterborough. So we've got Peterborough home, and then it's Coventry away, who are in the playoffs, and then Bournemouth away on Saturday. So I think it's a game that we need to get 3 points from because we've got 2 hard away games after that.
Yeah,
I think we may see some changes against Peterborough, maybe at home, maybe
I don't think he's often kept the same team mind. I cannot get my fixture, my team predictions. I've not got 100% once on FanHub this year. Don't forget, if you want to join FanHub, to message us for a code or have a look in the description below. There should be one there. You can put your predictions in and have a look at a lot of Swansea content, not just us, and other Championship content as well. And you get a chance every month to win tickets to a match of, I don't know what match, but a match for your team. So yeah, check that out. But I cannot get the team prediction right. I haven't done it once. The last 3 games, I'm I've got it this time. I've definitely got it. And then all of a sudden, Latabodia's on the left wing. I'm for God's sake.
Yeah, that's what done me. I consistently get 9. I always get 9 every week, but I had 10 on Saturday. And the only one was Bidwell coming out for Latabodia.
Oh, so you did drop Downs then?
Yeah, because I think he went off at half time, didn't he, against West Brom?
Yeah, I didn't know that he was injured though. I just thought it was like maybe tactical.
Yeah, so I did Smith, Paterson, and Cham and Piroe, but then it was only the one that I can't pick is just the back three all the time. I can never pick the back three. I got that right this time, and then he bloody put Latabodia on the left wing.
So who are you picking as the back three for Peterborough?
Oh, I think that Norton keeps his place again in the middle, and Manning will be on the left. I think he might give Bennett a rest this week and play Cabango or Rhys Williams, maybe.
I don't think he will. I think Latabodia swaps out for Bidwell on the left wing back, and that's it. Because there's no midweek game, so why is he going to give Bennett a rest when he didn't give him one last week?
No, but I mean, like, considering you've got Coventry away and then Bournemouth away on Saturday, you may want to keep Bennett fit for those games.
Maybe. I think you win your own game. You win your own game against Peterborough. Maybe make a little bit of change for Coventry, and then have your full team out against Bournemouth again.
I think you're right. He probably won't change it too much because he hasn't all season, but I think Bennett is a good defensive player, so I think at home I'd like to see him play.
Yeah, I agree.
Someone who can bring it out a bit more, but then again, we're not really blessed in that area. But Cabango played well against West Brom, bringing it forward.
Yeah,
and into Messi for like 30 seconds, and he
taking
everybody on.
That was a good moment. That was. Yeah, look, I think it would be good to see Bennett switched out for a game, just to keep his legs fresh, if anything, like you said, and just to give the others opportunities to see if anyone can stamp authority in that role. But he's played him 3 games in a row, but I thought you would have rested him for one of them, so I'm just doubtful at this point. I think for my prediction, I'll be keeping him in, and then I'll probably be wrong because I can't get it right.
No, yeah.
Because I did take him out.
I
did take him out for one of those in the week, and obviously he didn't get dropped. So, yeah, I think the rest of the team probably going to stay pretty similar as well. It depends if Downs is available. Maybe he comes back in for either Smith and Cham. I can't really decide because he seems to like Smith in that role. Yeah. Unless Cham is fully fit now. And
Smith was good when he went back into Downs' role, but yeah, I still don't like him playing as part of the the front three.
Yeah. Well, I think that's everything for this week. Then, have you got anything else you want to speak about before we go?
No, nothing for me.
No. So let's go and get another 3 points and start keep the positive momentum going. It will be 3 wins in 4 games if we can get a win against Peterborough, which would be our best run of form all season, because there would have been a draw in that as well in the last 5. So that would be 10 points from 15 if we can win the next game.
It's good form. Isn't it?
So I would be happy with that. So let's see what happens. If you enjoyed our content, don't forget you can subscribe. We're trying to now hit 500 after getting to 400, our last goal. So please click the big red button. Don't forget to like the video as well, because that helps more people see our stuff. It sort of tells YouTube that you like what we're doing, and pushes it out then to more Swansea fans that might not be aware of what we're doing. And engage in the comments as well. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about the last week. How happy are you with the 3 results? Would you have taken 6 points out of 9 before it kicked off, or were you disappointed that maybe we should have got 9 after we beat the first 2? Let us know what you think, and what you think maybe going into the Peterborough game as well. But having said all that, we shall see you in the next video. So thanks for watching or listening, and have a good week.
See you soon.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, to click the like button to help us grow. To keep up to date with all of our new uploads, hit the subscribe button and push the bell to ensure you are notified of all of our new videos. As always, engage in the comments and let us know your opinions on what we discussed today. And if you want to support us directly, check out our new merch where you can find some awesome Swansea related t-shirts.